Hey everybody, my name is Jordan Evans. I'm a music teacher, and this video is for high school students who want to go to college, for anyone who wants to go to college and study music, or if you're already in college and you just want something to work on over the summertime. These are some things that you need to know to get yourself ahead of the game. And this is the kind of stuff that if you know this, you won't have to spend your time working on the basics, so that way you can get right into the actually really challenging stuff that you're going to want to learn in school while you have a teacher. So you're not struggling over like basic major scales and easy things when you could be learning even more things and taking advantage of the time that you're in school. Our main thing is going to be learning to read notes on the staff. For most people, if you're going to music school, this is something you'll be able to do already. But I know some vocalists or even guitar players who spent their lives learning tabs, or someone who's really gifted by ear, which is a great strength to have, but we still need to read the notes on the page. Here's a basic rundown. Treble clef is based around G. We call it the G clef. These are for high registered instruments. The F clef is based around F, or the bass clef. These are bass instruments. Think trombones, tubas, cellos, whereas the treble clef is your violins, trumpets, flutes. Now, there are lots of other clefs, but mostly we'll see these. If you put them together, we have what's called the grand staff, which is what piano players, harp players, anything like that use. So inside the staff is where all of our music lives, and here's a really cool, easy way to think about it. The higher up on the staff it is, the higher the pitch, the lower down, the lower the pitch. Actually learn what all the different notes are and learn to read them, but from a fundamental level, it's that easy. And learn your rhythms too. You should be able to accurately count beats, whether that's in time signatures like 3/4, 4/4, 6/8. But you should also be able to understand what the beats count like. So a quarter note takes up one beat, eighth note's a subdivision of that, 16th notes. But here's an even more simple way of thinking about it. The whole note is just a circle with nothing on it. Every time we add a line, that beat is faster. So the more symbols we have attached to them, the quicker the note is. So a whole note has nothing. Half note has one line. Quarter note, we fill in the dot. Eighth note, we draw a flag on it. 16th note, we add another flag. So the more symbols you see on it, the faster that note is moving. So fundamentally, that's really all you need to get started. Here is a big one. You need to recognize your triad chords. And this is going to help you so much when it comes to chord inversions and part writing. So if I said C major, you should instantly think C, E, G. And if you're a guitar player who knows what the chord shapes feel like a C chord, D chord, etc., that isn't always the same thing because you need to know what the notes are that you're actually playing. So we need to think about this as piano players. I have the super simple keyboard. So if I'm playing a C chord, they just stack on top of each other. C, E, G, D chord, D, F sharp, A, E, G sharp, B. And there's no sound, but you can just see. Whenever I'm playing triads, I stack those notes. And here's the really cool thing. Once you memorize all your triads, just functionally learning how they work, C, E, G is always a C chord, whether I play it E, G, C, or if I play G, C, E, C, E, G. Those three notes in together are always the same chord. So no matter what instrument you play, I recommend getting like a small mini keyboard and just experimenting with what the chords feel like and practice each one. And by the end of this summer, you should be able to think of a chord, even the tough ones. Like if I said D flat major, boom, D flat, F, A flat. If I said E flat minor, you should be able to say G flat, E flat, G flat, B flat. And what's really cool about this, if you know your alphabet, you notice a pattern. Chords are always every other note. C, we have no D, E, F, G. So C, E, G. It's always every other letter. But depending on where it is, like B, for example, you will have to learn the accidental. So even though it still is B, we skip to D, we skip to F, you have to know that there's a B sharp and an F sharp. So there's some nuances, but that's just something to get you moving in the right direction. And bonus points if you take on seventh chords and like suspended chords, further extensions and whatnot. This one is huge, and I should have made it first, honestly. Learn all your scales and keys. I have an extremely helpful video for this. It's like 30 minutes long, and a lot of my older videos are pretty cringe, but this one in particular is really good. I wish someone had taught me my scales this way. It's so easy, and I promise you, within 30 minutes of watching this video, you'll be super comfortable with all 12 major scales, and I think I even talk about the minor scales, and you'll probably pretty much have the sharps and flats memorized. It's such a helpful way of thinking about it. Fundamentally, it's the circle of fifths. So C is our fundamental pitch, no sharps or flats. Just count up 5 letters, C, D, E, F, G. And then whatever G is, take the note right before it, make it sharp. So now the key of G has an F sharp. we keep it. Go up 5 more letters, G, A, B, C, D. D, we add, and it's called the leading tone. We add the C sharp right before it. So now the key of D has F sharp, C sharp. Look at that. The next one, D, E, F, G, A. A, we would just take the letter right before it, the leading tone, G sharp. So now we have F sharp, C sharp, G sharp. And just like that, we keep moving until we hit the C sharp again. But yeah, super easy. Check that video out. You'll have all your scales and keys memorized, ideally. No matter what you're doing in college, though, you're going to have to take piano proficiency. So I also recommend learning the fingering and playing all of them on the piano as well. All right, and this is a huge one that I stunk at. So drums was actually one of my main instruments my whole life, and I still play drums almost every week at my church. But playing drums, you don't get the aural skills of hearing the pitches, whereas someone who plays like the trumpet is getting a really like a master class, or even a singer, anyone who does stuff like that. So learning how to sing the intervals. Interval singing is one of the biggest parts of college, and my college was really intense in the fact that we had to have singing juries like every semester, no matter what your main instrument was. So I would have to go in front of a panel of people, and we would have to sight sing stuff. So learn all your intervals. And the easiest way to do this is think of a song. My keyboard's not hooked up right now. I'm moving stuff around. So I'll just show you on the violin real quick. If I played a pitch, you should instantly be able to match that pitch. Do. And I'm not the best singer in the world, so if I can do this, anybody can do this. Now, in your mind, there's 7 major intervals that's like the do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. You should be able to hear that in your mind before you play it. So if I played my do again, I'm going to sing a fourth above that, and then I'm going to play it. Do, fa, do, fa. See how I sang it, and then I was able to play it? I don't have a lot of room the way everything's set up. I need to fix this. The next one, do. Take my root pitch again. Do. The 2 main ones you should know is the 5th as well. So that would be do, so, and being able to find that instantly. And it's just Star Wars if you can hear that. The do, so, fa, mi, re, do, so. And yeah, you should be able to sing solfege too. And like I said, I'm really not a singer, but I have a good understanding and I can hear these things in my mind. So like I said, being able to sing all those intervals and just practice maybe sitting down at your instrument, playing the intervals and singing along as best you can. And just practicing singing more in general. This was something I was super unprepared for when I went to school. And I remember in the class, we would like go down the line one at a time and we have to sing in front of one another. And I always felt so uncomfortable. And you don't want to feel uncomfortable in class. You want to feel prepared, like you can perform at your best. For bonus points, just the 4 things I covered are the main ones. But some other things would be like part writing or familiarizing yourself with the orchestra. No matter what instrument you play, you need to have a good awareness. So if I say the orchestra, knowing that there's like violins, violas, cellos, bass for the string section. For the woodwinds, there's going to be flutes, oboes, clarinets, bassoons, and even like thinking about what keys they play in. Like a flute is a C instrument, whereas a trumpet is often a B flat instrument. A French horn is often an F instrument. And this could just be if you find some orchestration videos or maybe you rent a book from the library, just familiarizing yourself with that stuff. Music history is a good thing to study a little bit as well, just knowing the different eras of music. So like ancient and Gregorian chant, moving into the Baroque era, some of the composers like Vivaldi, Bach, Handel, and then going into the classical area, having a couple people you can list off, maybe that's Schubert or Mozart. And then going into the Romantic era, some people like Debussy and Chopin that you can just list off and kind of have an idea. Or contemporary, find a couple contemporary composers you like. Or some Impressionism like Bartók. And just kind of having a good general idea about these things. So that way when you're in class, it's all not brand new stuff. Depending on the school you go to, you might be introduced to studio recording stuff as well. So like everything I learned in studio recordings, how I'm running my sound system right now. And so maybe get an idea on how like what compression is, what reverb is, what a bus is. If it's something like I studied commercial music in school, which was a lot about production and business and stuff in music. But yeah, if you guys have any questions or anything, I think I covered a lot of it. That stuff at the end was just kind of bonus. It's not really important. But those first things, if I could go back to school over again, I wish I was very competent with those things before even going to school. But yeah, music school is great. It's a great way of collaborating with others and working together. A lot of the opportunities I've gotten in my life are through relationships I built at school and people that I met. And so yeah, take advantage of this summertime, whether you're already in school or you're going to school, and get a lot done. So that way, when you're in class, you can just focus on learning new things. But thanks, guys. Like I said, if you have any questions, let me know. I'd love to make new videos about stuff like this, and I'll see you next time.